Hi and welcome to Conversations in the Living Room. This is the space where we lift the curtains on our blueprint to relationship, love and pleasure.
We're Tia Drew and today we're going to be having a very timely conversation around why we as a same-sex couple make the decision to travel to countries where being LGBTQ plus is either socially frowned upon, socially unaccepted or even illegal in some instances. And this conversation has come off of the back of our anniversary trip to Jamaica. If you haven't watched our vlog, check it out. It was the first time we've done a travel vlog.
Yeah.
So we really would love to just hear your thoughts and insights on that vlog and our experiences. But yeah, it's come off of the back of that trip and we think now is the right time for us to have this conversation.
Yes. And like you said, please give us your feedback on the vlog, not just how amazing the trip looked. I think because we did a pretty good job for our first try.
Yeah.
It's a little shaky, but we got there. And also when we posted our clips, the clips of our holiday on TikTok and the review post Jamaica, we received a whole lot of comments.
I think let's roll this in.
Recently just had our 1-year anniversary trip to Jamaica, and as a disclaimer, don't go to Jamaica if you're of the same-sex couple.
We were in the streets and we were called homophobic slurs when we walked around, like the looks, the stares that we were getting. This feeling of not being welcome was like very clear.
We never stayed outside past 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Some were good in the sense that people empathized with us and said that, okay, like, it's a shock to the system. Like, I understand it. And a lot of people actually DM'd us apologizing. Like, I'm sorry that was your experience in my country. Like, I wish it could have been better for you. And a lot of people shared that was some of the experiences they've had. Now, on the flip side, a lot of negative comments in the, what were you expecting? Like, Jamaica is known to be, I guess, outwardly homophobic, or like, haven't you heard the songs and things like that? And I think that for us, it was the fact people were almost normalizing that it is a culture there, it is accepted there, so you should be able to accept it yourself, or not try to force your sexuality
or your lifestyle.
Or your lifestyle, yeah,
onto others. Which I think both points are kind of fair in the sense that both represent certain truths about Jamaica, but at the same time, the reason why we want to drop this video is because there's a lot of context that we missed from our vlog. So we want to actually have that deeper conversation.
Yeah.
And I guess get our point of view out there and also just provide more context to what you see in the vlog.
Yeah.
Because I think we were talking about this when we got the edit, we were like, oh, we made it look so fab.
We did.
But there's a lot of things like, what were you saying? We don't have any footage at night.
We don't have any footage of us going out at night because in the daytime when we go out and we had the fun, by the time we're about to leave or something, somewhere, somehow, somebody will make it known that they're being homophobic towards us in by what they're saying and how they acted. And we're just like thinking to ourselves, imagine we go out at night and this happens and we struggle to get a taxi or something and we're stranded. So I think the fear of something negative happening based on homophobia alone, not even anything to do with safety. I personally think Jamaica is a very safe country. Like, I did not experience anything that made me feel unsafe outside of when you bring sexuality into it. In the sense that I did not feel, how do I put it? I just did not feel unsafe. I think sexuality was the fundamental part of why there was uncertainty and, I guess, unsafe times within the holiday. So let's take a step back and start from the beginning. Why do we choose to go to countries that can be seen as homophobic?
I think for us, it comes down to a few things. Number one, we don't want our sexuality to limit our experiences or our ability to see the beauty of the world. Like, we genuinely, at our core, believe that no matter who you are, no matter how you love, you should have the ability to go out and see the beauty of the world. Like, I don't want to miss out on experiences that my like hetero friends are able to just experience. But unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world and we have to be very mindful of our identity and what risks that imposes on us when we travel to specific spaces. But we believe that in some instances, seeing the beauty of the world is worth the additional risk that we have to take on. But of course, with that risk, we have to be very well researched, we have to be cautious, we have to be considerate around how we carry ourselves. But yeah, it's still a fundamental belief of ours.
Yeah, and I think that another thing is perception and reality in some cases can be very different. In the sense that Ghana, for example, it can be deemed as a homophobic country. Well, I guess before the bill has been passed, because we went there in December, and it was a situation where we moved around freely. There was no sense of hostility towards us. I did not feel like there was any form of attack coming our way. And I think the only time where we felt there was a bit of like, okay, guys, like, limit your shit. Like, you're still not, like, you're gay and you're in a homophobic country per se, or people that have those kind of views, was when we kissed. And when we got back, we had the conversation around it, and people said, we don't do PDA. Hetero couples,
Period.
yeah, hetero couples do not perform PDA, so it's not about your sexuality, just don't do PDA. And you take on the flip side of that, there was the perception that we had that, oh, if we went there, it might be homophobic, we might have felt unsafe at first. We're gonna be honest, we're a bit apprehensive, but that was a whole different experience. So then for us to look at booking somewhere like Jamaica, in our head, we also thought that it's a perception thing, that it's been built into this monster that, okay, when you go to Jamaica, if you're gay, this is going to happen to you. And in some ways, we kind of want to, how do I put it?
We were naive with that one, though.
Yeah. I don't.
Perception met the reality, I would say.
Yeah. I don't necessarily want to say we'll put ourselves in danger, but we do not want to live life based on fear. And I think that in some cases, we want to honestly, we want to experience the beauty of life in itself. And the thought of limiting what we experience, like Andrew said, to sexuality, it's a lot. Because on the flip side of that, we're black.
Yeah, which leads us into our next point. We're black and we're gay, which means that sometimes it literally feels like we are trading in one oppression for the other. It's like it's literally like a switcheroo. Like, we live in a country where we're the minority. Yeah. And with that comes a lot of challenges to our experience, even when we're living here in the UK. Like, we've recently seen the riots that happen in the UK, right? So part of the reason why we travel is it's a form of escapism. Yeah. And it's a form of, and we often find that a lot of that solace, especially as a black person, comes to traveling to countries within Africa or going to the Caribbean. So I think it provides that level of safety, at least on the basis of our race. But of course, you introduce the fact that we're gay, and there are so many different layers to this. So I think for us, it definitely shapes our travel experiences, what we desire. We love to go to countries where we no longer feel like the minority, at least as it relates to our race. But I think that also teaches us a lot. It teaches us a lot about how we're perceived in different parts of the world, based on those two things, us being black, but also us being queer, and the many other things that make up T and Drew's identity. And I think to sort of follow up on that, when we got back from Ghana, I think it took nearly a month to readjust back to life in the UK. And also coming back in January, like one of the most depressing time of the year. We came back from this country where there was sun. I'm so sorry to say, I'm not even sorry to say, black beauty. Like, it was beautiful. Like, so many people from Ghana, so many tourists. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. It just felt like a hug. It feels different. Like, it feels different. Just being, just not, like, you don't notice your blackness. Yeah. And there was no reminder of your blackness. And in as much as the sexuality might be a problem or all of this, it just felt good. Because I've never traveled to a country like that. So Ghana was my first experience. So really, Kenya? Really? Kenya did not give that. I'm so sorry. Wow. The West and East Africans, the war continues. What? So we ain't legit just because we're in the East? No. Kenya did not give that, in the sense that I was not surrounded by just black Africans in Kenya. Okay. Where the hotel we stayed, and how they treated us and everything. It was a bit. We did sometimes feel like second-class citizens whilst being black in Kenya, but that's some tea that we'll get into another time. I just remembered we actually need to do a video of that this another time. But I think that just to finish it off, my experience with those countries, I'm so sorry, I enjoyed in those moments not noticing my blackness. I just enjoyed being on holiday. I just enjoyed being around all the black people, making jokes and things like that. And
yeah, I cannot apologize for that, but I think we can break it down a little further.
Yeah.
To break it down even further, why did we go to Jamaica? So of all the countries, why would we pick Jamaica as anniversary? I think, firstly, my husband booked the flights on the way. Yeah, you know we're gonna bring it up. So he has what's the word? The bug.
I get impatient real quick. Once I like bite onto an idea, I just get really impatient and I need it to be just done. Yeah.
Whereas I'm the kind of person that I believe search 5 different websites for different flights, different hotels, and different things. And unfortunately, I was moving a little bit too slow for his liking on that. And he just decided to up and book Jamaica. And I was like, okay, cool. Now, he doesn't have to apply for visas to go to countries. So in my head, when he booked it, the first red flag to me was like, okay, you booked Jamaica, but do you know how I'm going to get there? Do you know any visa requirement? Nothing. That was fine. It's like, we're here now, we booked Jamaica. But when we started Googling Jamaica, guys, it is the most beautiful country I have ever been to. Now, everything went away. The whole argument of him booking spontaneously, all of that went out the window. The beauty of Jamaica is untouched. And then we've never been to a Caribbean country, so I was like, okay, it's a win, because it was either going to be a Caribbean country, an African country, or somewhere in South America. So Caribbean for the win. And then secondly, culture and food, music. You already know where we travel. Food is like our love language, like everything in sight. And then to have authentic jerk chicken, like...
I just got the taste as you said it. Ooh! Authentic jerk chicken, not that stuff that they be serving you here, child, with the barbecue sauce. Nah.
So overall, 10-10, best decision. Like, beautiful country, beautiful holiday. Like, that was not unexpected. Like, everything that we expected from that side of the holiday matched tenfold.
Yeah, and plus we had heard good things from our friends who traveled to Jamaica.
Yeah.
I know some of y'all in the comments were saying they were not your true friends because they suggested that we went to Jamaica. And it was true. I think once we actually end up in Jamaica, the other friends came out the woodwork. So we're like, why are y'all going to Jamaica for your anniversary? And we were just already there. So we were just like, well, it is what it is. But we had heard good things from trusted friends.
Yeah.
About their experiences in Jamaica, which leads us to why did we decide on Portland and Kingston in particular?
The men. Sorry, I'm joking.
So I think I'm just going to be honest. When I booked the flight to Jamaica, I didn't realize, I booked the flight to Kingston because it's the capital, and I didn't realize how far Kingston is from all of the like traditionally tourist spots. So y'all can drag me for not doing my research there. So we could have gone to like a Montego Bay, for instance, but it was like 4 hours drive from Kingston.
Yeah.
So straight away it was like, okay, where can we go around Kingston that will still provide us with like the kind of luxury holiday experience that we're looking for? And we love boutique hotels.
Yeah.
So I think number one, we didn't really want to be around a lot of tourists. And when we were searching up Montego Bay, all of the images that we saw, it was just heavily geared towards tourists. We always love to get a true local experience whenever we travel to a country. Hence why we landed on Kingston, as well as the blunder I said. And then Portland. So the reason why we ended up at Portland was because we love boutique hotels. And we wanted that kind of rustic vibe that was really kind of focused on natural beauty, and we didn't really want to be in a hotel chain. So that's how we found G-Jam. And for the price and the location and the fact it was a boutique hotel, it really kind of ticked all of the boxes for us. And I think because we left it so last minute, there was very few options that were at the price that we wanted. So it made a lot of sense. So yeah, that's how we ended up at Portland and Kingston.
And I think everything happens for a reason. I did it because G-Jam was the safe space. We did when we're in Portland. Guys, we recommend G-Jam hands down. Like the waiting staff are fab except for one girl. Like I remember. Two of them?
Two, yeah. the one at checkout and then the one in the mornings.
Yeah. Two of them. The gym needs an update, but everything else, our room was tranquil. We had a jacuzzi. What's it called?
Hammock.
A hammock. The swimming pool overlooking the beautiful ocean.
Yeah, the view was
breathtaking. So I guess one thing you will see from our vlog, I think we cannot hide it, is the fact that we almost make the holiday look like an unimaginable experience, which it was. And we also want to sell this narrative that it was all good, because unfortunately the way content works is you record your best content when you're having the best time or the most amount of fun.
Yeah, like we weren't whipping out the phone when we were in the middle of the earthquake, for instance.
Exactly. So some of the negative sides,
story.
some of the negative sides which we did not capture on camera. Number one is price. Guys, Jamaica is expensive. And it's not in the sense that, oh yeah, what are you expecting? It's like, because you're from London, you thought that it was... No. Even the locals in Jamaica complain about how expensive it is. Jamaican-born individuals that were there on holidays.
Yeah, who were going back to Jamaica to visit family were telling us how expensive it is.
And it's ever since post-COVID. So that's number one. The second part is homophobia. And I think let's talk about it from the lens of, in some cases, it's not overt in the sense that nobody's running up to you and hitting you, but people would walk past us and throw slangs at us. And guys, we are not, how do I put it? We are not the most feminine presenting men or the most masculine presenting men, but I think it's the fact that sometimes the masculinity was deep rooted in so much.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
It was like, yeah, the level of masculinity we had to present was just not something that was natural to us.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's what caught us off guard. Not only the fact that, of course, we know we don't express PDA, right? But the fact that we had to carry ourselves in such a hyper masculine presentation. I remember someone even saying the fact that we were wearing Speedos was like a cultural no-no.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't laugh, guys. Don't laugh.
Or they dragged us for that.
Yeah, they dragged us for those Speedos. Another negative from our experience was probably just the hospitality. So there's always a big push, like everyone says, as a tourist, you should always visit the tourist locations in Jamaica. So Montego Bay, I think it's Ocho Rios is the other one. I'll probably spell it wrong, but we'll include a quote. Outside of those areas, there isn't really, I would say, an appreciation for hospitality in our experience. And I think it's because they expect the tourists to go to the tourist spots. Anywhere outside those spots are really like focused on locals and folks who are coming back to visit family, which
And
we didn't
also
realize.
white tourists, let's be very honest.
Yes. We didn't see many of them in Kingston stuff. I would say that they're in the tourist areas. They even fly into Montego Bay.
No, the white tourists, because when you look at the girl that was rude to us at G-Jam, I clocked her how she was polite. And I also think that there is this view.
Oh.
Yeah. White tourists, I don't know what they're viewed as, but I clocked that too.
Yeah. And finally, the earthquake. Yeah, so we were having dinner with one of our friends introduced us to another friend that we met out in Kingston. And we were there the night that the earthquake happened. So if anyone knows about like Kingston and what was happening around that time, I think it was in April, right?
Yeah.
We were there, we just sat down, we were having dinner at probably one of the best restaurants that we went to in Kingston.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm sitting next to Tosin and next to this person who our friend had introduced us to. And then all of a sudden we're just like tucking into our meal and the building just starts like the most intense vibration I've ever. It felt like the world was shaking. And I remember my instinct was just to jump up and run towards the exit. And we were on the second floor. So I don't know whether I was going to jump over the balcony, but I just knew I had to get out of that building. As I was running, I turned back and I put my hand out to Toast and I'm like,
So cinematic.
come with me. And Toast's just sat there, like, just kind of smiling. Like, I feel like you were in a state of shock. Like,
Yeah,
what was
because-
going through your...
I think it's, now thinking about it, it was definitely shock, because I was like, what is going on?
You were so calm.
I was like, what, like, how can I hide in an earthquake on a holiday? Like, this is, because this is the worst thing, is like, people always have this, like, I don't know, there was a flood or there was something when they're on holiday, and my head, I never thought it would be me.
So did you know it was an earthquake straight away?
No, because, no. But then I think I was just in shock, because I was thinking to myself, I'm not about to die in Jamaica with an earthquake. Like, what is going on? What is going on? And Andrew was looking, boy, get up! What are you doing? Let's go! I was just like, what? Oh.
And the funny thing is, it was really awkward because after I sat back down for dinner, obviously I'd not reached my hand out to both of them to pull them both out. So I was like, so, you know who I was prioritizing in that situation? You know that I would have left you here?
And she said it, she was like, I noticed that you were about to leave.
Yeah. I was like, but that was scary. That was very scary.
No, it was. But they were having a good old time about it on Twitter. She showed us.
So, what would we have done differently, or what would we have changed about our experience to Jamaica? I think the first thing is, we would have gone to them resorts. Like,
yeah,
all of the push, everything that we had heard was right. Like, you go and you stay in the resorts. It's an unfortunate truth, but it is what it is. I think we would have definitely traveled with a friend, or we would have made sure that we were connected with local people who could essentially show us around Jamaica. Like, what were the spots that we could go to, the best restaurants, because our experience was immediately better as soon as we were connected with one of our friend's friend who lived in Kingston.
Yeah.
And then I think finally we would have hired a driver for the full duration of the time that we were in Jamaica, because I think our driver was a huge point of safety for us, a huge point of convenience, and also you save a lot of money by booking a driver over a longer period of time versus using Ubers, because Ubers were expensive, or just getting a one-off driver is expensive in Jamaica. So just make sure that you have one for the full duration whilst you're there.
Yeah, and I think that for us, we would want to say that if you can, book ahead of time in terms of your drivers, because the negotiation when we were there to try and get the driver, they already knew, you're here, you're desperate, you need me, so let me charge whatever I can. So if you know people that are out in Jamaica that can recommend a driver for you before you get there, I think negotiate and make the deals done before you get there would be my advice. Now, we want to talk about what are some of the tips, or what are some of the advice we would give as gay travelers or LGBTQ plus couples when deciding to go to a country that can be deemed homophobic or is homophobic by law. Now, like we have explained to you, the choices we make to go to some of these countries, it's one, sometimes we just want to feel black without noticing we are black. Secondly, we want to be able to experience new cultures and not be limited to, oh, this is the only thing you get to experience for your sexuality. So now, number one, it's as basic as doing your research. Now, a lot of people said we should have done our research for Jamaica. We did. But I think research could still not have prepared us for some of the moments and interactions we had with people. For example, when we went to get our haircut, I did not think anything of just the haircut. But within the space of the haircut, you could hear from the patois that it was like, basically, get your haircut and get the hell out of here. You should not be here. And I think that that's something that you wouldn't have found online on a website. But do your research is first and foremost. Secondly, also look for people that have been there before. Like, for example, we're a gay couple that has been to Jamaica now, or we've been to Ghana. If you want to hear about the experience, reach out to them. If you're thinking of going to Jamaica, and for example, they haven't done a vlog like we've done, reach out to them and just say, hey, I'm thinking of going to Jamaica, and I just want to get your opinion on what I should expect and how I should navigate that space.
Yeah, I would also say part of research is knowing the laws, so make sure that you know what is permissible and what is not. So just really be informed about the laws, especially around LGBTQ plus rights. It's really important that you equip yourself with that knowledge. And I would also say just research LGBTQ plus friendly hotels or tour guides as well. But I would always get a second opinion. Don't just go off of what you see online. Make sure that you're able to see reviews from actual people that have gone to those hotels who are part of the community. Make sure that you're really just getting a different opinion. And also, where possible, try to keep those locations safe. So don't amplify the fact that you've traveled to those locations on the basis of them being LGBTQ plus friendly, because you could be putting those institutions in danger if it's, for instance, illegal for you to be LGBTQ plus in those countries. So I would always try and keep those places safe and keep them to like direct message alone.
And a big one is no PDA.
Yeah.
I think it goes without saying that being in spaces like that is already a risk. And for me, I don't think that that's the opportunity to stand up for your rights and prove a point and respect the laws. You're only there for a few days. If it's no PDA, if it's no this, just go about your business behind closed doors where you can. Do everything you need to do, because it's also kind of, it builds the tension a little bit, you know, like the whole day, like I just want to touch you, I just want to hold you, but I can't. Builds the tension a little bit. And just to clarify, we are not saying in any way, shape or form that this is us, what do you call it, putting a sponsored ad for countries that have homophobic laws or are not LGBTQ plus friendly. What we are saying here is there are people like us who do not want to limit our travel experience based on our sexuality. And to those kind of people, this is the advice of how you navigate the space. We are still very much going to travel to countries that are friendly, open with the laws, where we can be comfortable with each other. Like
definitely around anniversaries and relationship milestones, for sure. Yeah, it is our choice. And I think you also have to recognize that it's also a privilege. Like, we can't not acknowledge that. Like, for instance, depending on your ability to pass or not, that also could have implications for your travel and your safety and your well-being. So we do also want to just really acknowledge that for ourselves as well.
One thing though was that, interesting enough, lesbian couples commented on the videos, quite a few of them, saying that this was not their experience.
And saying that it's less frowned upon for lesbians in Jamaica versus gay men.
And I was surprised by that. In a way, I was surprised by that, because I thought that it would be like a one rule fits all type of situation. But then I guess, I was just surprised by that, if I'm being honest. The question I'm guessing everybody wants to know is, would we go back to Jamaica?
I think we'll just have to wait and find out.
I think I would.
Oh, okay.
I would if we're going for like the carnival, because people have explained that that is more friendly. I would if friends were going.
Yeah, I think it'll be a nice trip for you and your friends.
You're my best friend. On that note, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us. Click the notification bell. We're back, and let's keep having fun with conversations in the living room.
Yes, and please watch the vlog. Girl, like, it was a long time coming, so show it some love. Give us your thoughts, and we'll see you again.